What's up YouTube, it's Dirty Dave. In this video I'll be showing you guys how to control recoil, how to practice controlling recoil, and things you can do to make controlling recoil easier. As always, there'll be timestamps down in the comments so you guys can skip to the part you want to see and skip the parts you don't. Other than that, let's get right into the video. First thing I want to show you guys is the proper way of learning how to control recoil. So we're going to be doing this in a custom game, but you can also do this in the T-Hunt, but I just want to avoid the bots. So first you're going to want to find a plain wall, and you want to stand back at least 10 meters, because if you're any closer than 10 meters, then it's really easy to have a tight grouping. And also, a while back, Ubisoft put out an infographic showing that the average gunfight distance was 9.4 meters. So another good reason to be at least practicing at 10. So here I sprayed 3 magazines on the wall so we can get an idea of the recoil. For the most part, it's pretty vertical, and you can see the last one kind of kicks up to the right. So buck is either vertical or up and to the right. So in order to counter that, we're going to want to pull down to the left. So I like to spray one magazine just kind of really high and just go really hard in the opposite direction down to the left, because it kind of helps me mentally know that I can control the gun's recoil. You know, the recoil doesn't control the gun. So staying at least 10 meters away, we're going to be practicing our recoil. Pull down a little bit too hard. That one's all right grouping. That's definitely all landing. That one's a bit tighter, but hopefully we can shrink it down. So yeah, a lot better as the more we go. And this is just what practicing and learning recoil is all about. So that, the difference, obviously I started shooting a little bit lower each time, but you can see the grouping gets so much better as we keep on going. So yeah, that's how you should be trying to learn recoil. Now I want to go over attachments that help your recoil control. And the first set will be your sights. And for this, just use whatever you prefer. In my opinion, recoil control really matters at medium range gunfights, because close range, you know, you can barrel stuff a guy, so recoil control doesn't matter. Long range, it's more about bursting and tap firing. That's when you want to ACOG. So for medium range, and when I mentioned that 9.4 meters distance is the average gunfight distance, that's coming into the medium range. And I think a one-time sight like red dot, hollow, or reflex will be better than ACOG in that at that distance and in medium range in general. So for me, I like hollow. Going into your grips, this one's pretty obvious, vertical grip. It just makes your gun not jump as high overall. And angle grip just makes you aim in faster. Going into laser, a lot of people ask me why I use laser, and it doesn't really help with your recoil control. But what it does help with in that transition from hip firing to aiming down your sights, it makes your bullets go to the pinpoint spot of where you're aiming faster. So you're going to be landing your shots on target faster. Now when it comes to barrels, I'll be going in a custom game to help explain it, but compensator is the best option. And here I'm gonna pull up an infographic from Rogue 9. He was actually talking to the devs, and here he has the benefits of each muzzle attachment. Going from left to right is your suppressor, flash hider, compensator, muzzle brake, and long barrel. And we all know that suppressor and long barrel don't really help with recoil, so now it's between flash hider, compensator, and muzzle brake. And looking at the benefits, you can see flash hider is a 37.5% reduction of your first shot. So first shot being key. When you're spraying a weapon, you're spraying like at least 10 bullets, 15, or the whole mag 30. And when it only comes to one bullet, that reduction doesn't really help. And then 30% centering time. That's how fast it takes your gun to get back to where you're aiming. So you shoot a few times and the gun comes down, the centering time. And then diamond, I'll be explaining the diamond in the custom game. So diamond is what really helps recoil control, and we can see compensator benefits that the most. And the muzzle brake, again, better than flash hider in terms of first shot recoil and centering time. But that's only with one bullet, and like I said, we're spraying a whole mag. So compensator is the way to go. Alright, now I'm going to try my best to explain the recoil diamond. So this is what you see when you're comparing attachments when you're in the main menu, when you're swapping them out. So with this, you can see top, left, bottom, right. So it makes the shape of a diamond, and this is the center. So when it comes to your recoil diamond, this is just representing where your bullet can go. It's more like a triangle because, you know, recoil is not going to kick your gun down, so it's mostly focusing on the top, left, and right. So this the smaller the diamond is, the farther your next bullet will be. So say your gun has a really big diamond, then it'll probably kick up really high, but if it has a small diamond, it'll be closer. So this is the first shot, then the second shot with a small diamond. First shot, second shot with a big diamond. And that's what it just mainly means, you know, the range of where the gun can kick to. So obviously smaller is better because you want your bullet, you want a tight grouping. So that's why compensator is the best, because it reduces the diamond the most and affects every shot in the magazine, not just the first shot. Now I want to go over how your sensitivity affects your recoil control. So I'm going to show you guys mine. And a lot of people ask me how I get my vertical or my recoil control so good. And in my opinion, it's because I have pretty fast sensitivity, and it's mostly recoil control is mostly vertical. So vertical sensitivity. So mine is 72, 72, and 30 ADS. And just some real quick advice on your sensitivity. In my opinion, like a good base point or reference point is to have your vertical and horizontal above 50. Keep your horizontal the same as or faster than your vertical. And then your ADS below 40. So I'm going to show you guys some recoil control real quick. This is my sensitivity. So there it is, pretty solid. And with this, so my point is going to be how having a faster sensitivity makes it easier, and the main reason why is because you have to pull down on your right analog stick much less if you have a faster sensitivity. So here I'm taking all the way down to 1, which is an exaggeration. No one's gonna have it down there's to 1, but just to make the results pretty obvious. So right there I tried pulling down the stick all the way down as hard as I could, and there's no recoil control in that versus that. So now I'm gonna take it to 100, and so it's a little bit obvious. So the faster your sensitivity is, the more control you have where you're aiming, where you're looking at, I guess where the gun's kicking to. So just to do the whole thing, now we're going to the opposite end, and here it's just so much easier to control recoil. So I just go up and down all I want. But the most important thing is that you're comfortable with your sensitivity, and definitely try to learn practicing recoil control before you change your sensitivity 100%. You know, this comes from practice more than it comes from having the right sensitivity. Running a T-Hunt, I'm going to show you guys how I like to practice my recoil control. So here I'm using the SMG 11 because it's one of the harder guns to use in Siege. And you can see it goes up and to the left, but it's pretty vertical compared to the other SMGs. So I'm going to pull down and to the right. It's pretty ugly, but once I get shooting at some bots, it'll be a lot nicer. So we're going to be blitzed through this building, and we just want to go through as fast as possible. This is the case for any T-Hunt because you just want to build repetition for muscle memory, and that's what it's all about really. So rule of thumb for me is when an enemy is within shotgun range, I full on spray them down, but past that I burst fire, and I burst fire like if I'm using a pistol and I'm trying to trigger finger with a pistol. So hopefully I get some good exampling for you guys, but I'll be swapping between bursting and spraying them down. So right here when they're close, I'm just spraying them down. And another thing that I want to go over, and people ask me this a lot, like asking advice whether they should get Control Freaks or a Scuff controller. So for me, I have Control Freaks. I have the Galaxy version, and I have a Scuff controller, the Infinity 4PS. And with that, I definitely recommend people buying Control Freaks. They're kind of cheap, you know, they're 15 bucks, like 15, 17, which is, I don't know, in my opinion, it's kind of expensive, but when it comes to other gaming accessories, it's not. So I definitely recommend Control Freaks, and you know, they actually do help your aim. They're not like no placebo, because they make your thumbsticks longer, so you have more leverage to be accurate and precise. So right here I'm showing you guys good examples of bursting, just kind of like I'm trigger fingering a pistol. Yeah, I'll stick through it. So yeah, I definitely recommend Control Freaks, and like I said, I have the Galaxy version. And when it comes to the Scuff controller, or I guess Battle Beaver, I don't think they're necessary for a game like Siege, because what they help you do, Scuff and Battle Beavers, they do not help your aim. They don't make you a better aimer. Control Freaks do. That's why I like them. But with a Scuff or Battle Beaver, all they do is make it easier when you're moving to keep your aim, so your aim doesn't you know, go off the walls because you're vaulting and drop shotting and everything. That's what they help you. They help you, you know, crouch spam, lean spam, but since that's not in Siege no more, you know, there's really no point. You know, drop shotting is gone and everything. So this is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, and if you want more Dirty Dave, subscribe. Until then, see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.